I think we're live. All right. So, what's going on, everybody? Today I will be just doing some coding in a new app that I'm building. It's a Trainwright, or Trainwright's the name of the app. And so let's actually look here so you can see. So this is the current state of the application. Let's see. It's a little slow because of all the streaming. We got a simple dashboard. Really, what I've been working on is the training creation, so the training packets. So basically, what this is a marketplace for athletes and trainers to be able to come onto this platform and connect with each other, um, and get some training sessions set up. So as a trainer, I would come in here and I would create a profile, and then I would create these training packets. So if we look at the profile, we can see we've got different account types as well. If I come over to the profile, we can see my basic profile here, but also we have the different roles. So these are the different account types that we currently have. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this here, but I have this just for testing right now, so I could switch between accounts. This account that I have set up is just a trainer account, but I have another one that has all of those accounts. And then each trainer would have a bio, obviously, right? So they can select, um, they can build out like what teams they've coached for, what teams they're currently coaching, what experience levels, how many years experience, what achievements, things like that. Preferences. This is going to be used for um, the searching in the marketplace. So when someone searches for certain trainers, say someone searches for a football trainer, this trainer would not be displayed because they don't coach football, right? But they do running, soccer, and weightlifting. And then we also have the star here, which is the primary sport. So my vision for the algorithm on that is going to be if the trainer's primary sport is the sport that the athlete is looking for, then they will take a higher ranking on the search results than someone who, say, soccer or running was their secondary sport and an athlete search for running or soccer, then that person would be lower on the rankings. So there's always a method to the madness, right? Accepted age groups, and then where they train. So they can train at their own facility, train at local parks or schools, travel to the athlete's home or gyms or studios, and then they can enter in preferred locations for those as well. Um, and then also that preferred locations and everything will give more of that geo targeting for the algorithm. And then I also just added some simple certification, licensing, and insurance uploads so that we can verify that these trainers have the proper licensing and certifications and insurance. Um, so on today's session, this little live training session that I got going on, what I want to do is work on the wallets page. And so here we go, wallets page. You can see basically there's nothing there. Um, for the development, I'm using Windsurf. Um, I prefer Windsurf. If you're part of the Facebook group, I kind of broke down my journey through using no code platforms to um, finally settling on the AI IDEs. So this is like a development environment. Um, so this is the, I'll try and break it down for people that aren't really familiar with this stuff. Might look overwhelming. But over here is the file tree. So look at this. Think of this as like a Google Drive or something, and it's got all of your files that make up your application, right? One thing about like AI coding when you're using things like Bolt and stuff, you do have access to this information, these files, and you can look at them and you can view the code and everything. And I believe now they allow you to actually edit the code with inside of the browser. Um, but here, what I like, you have a little bit more control, right? This is a full environment for development. And what I can do is if I wanted to add a page, I can come over here and just create my pages. And what I'm using Next.js. Um, so, so I'm using Next.js, which is a React framework for web apps. It makes it. I'm not if you're familiar with like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. React is a library for JavaScript, basically like a bunch of simplest way of putting it would be like a bunch of pre-made um, components or elements that use JavaScript, and then you'd use the React library to build these components, and then Next.js is just a framework that uses that React library to build your applications. Anyways, so let's just get into some coding. Also for the backend, I use Convex. There's a ton of choices out there. A lot of people like Supabase, right? I've got some projects on Supabase as well. Um, so it's just, there's also, everyone's probably familiar with Firebase, right? You can see I don't go to Firebase, so it doesn't open up. But I did build a few apps with Firebase as well. I preferred Firebase over um, Supabase, but Supabase has become a lot more popular. Um, but currently I'm using Convex. It's all type safety, or it's all TypeScript, so you got all the type safety stuff. And it's got a very good environment for development. And what I mean by that is, if we come over here, and hopefully you guys can see this, let me zoom in. So if we look over here, we have our terminal, right? And this is where we're going to start seeing a lot of activity when we start coding. But I have three terminals open. I have my Convex terminal, and I have my Next.js terminal. So this is running my front end. So I change the icon. You can just right click on it, and you can change the icons to whatever. Um, and you could also change the colors too and rename it. They all, when you open up a new terminal, it just looks like that. It says PowerShell because that's what I'm using. I'm on Windows. So Convex, we've got our Convex development. So this is our backend environment here. Um, this is our front end environment, and this is if I need to install any packages. And you'll see me do that throughout. So I don't want to get too technical into that. Over here on Windsurf, if you've not used Windsurf, this is basically like the AI coding agent here, Cascade. This is very similar to like how Bolt, Lovable, Replit, all those things work, right? You tell it what you want, and it goes and it does it, right? It goes and adds files, removes files, updates the code in those files. So here's all the different code. Um, so yeah. So anyway, so that's the intro. Let's get to it. What I want to do today is build out this wallet. Okay. And I've got my Figma design. So I actually designed all the stuff that we want to build. So we want to work on this wallet design. So you see we have a header here, and then we have this card component here, and then we have another card component that has the table down there. And in this top one, you can see we've got three different components, right? Um, we have our wallet that shows our balance. We have our financial setup, so this will be like connecting to Stripe, essentially. And then this will be a form where they can upload their W-9 form for tax purposes. So, so let's get started with that. So the first thing I'm going to do is, and everyone does all this stuff differently, so um, it's just all in your preference. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this, right? Screenshot that. So now I have a screenshot. And I'm going to come back over here to code editor. And I'm going to open up this file menu. And we're going to come over here to a wallet. So the way I structure mine is I'm using Next.js with the app router, so all of my application pages live in here. Okay. Um, we have, I don't know why we don't need this. Let's delete that. Okay. We have all of my protected pages. So these will be like what you can access after you signed in. So I've grouped all these pages inside this protected paging grouping route. And what we want to do is we're working on the wallet. And right here's the wallet page. So I'm going to double click that, open up that there. The layout is basically just, you can see we have our header, right? And we have our footer, and then we have what's going to go into that. Actually right here in this main child tag. So the layout is basically what you see, the layout of the page, right? So we have our header, we have our children, which is the main body section, and then we have our footer. So if we came back over here, we can see header, main child section, the body section, and then we have our footer. Okay. And then on mobile, you can see right here, I made it a little note. On mobile, so medium size screens or below, block it, hide it essentially. Hide the footer. Okay. So since this footer is wrapped in this div element, we're telling it how to behave. And so the reason for that is if I inspect here and I click this little button here, it goes to my mobile view. Right? Let me just refresh. This is crazy. I normally don't. Code on my laptop here. I'll just close that. Let's inspect. What I want to do is just shrink it. There we go. So you can see our headers changed, right? We got our notification drop down. And then we've also got our menu is now down here for mobile app. So instead of having to develop a whole mobile app right away, I'm more comfortable building the web app version with mobile responsiveness. So you can see that we hid that footer section and replaced it with this menu. So when I get larger, the menu goes away and the footer pops up. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and leave this open on the console, and we're going to get to work. Okay. And let me see. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Open to answering any questions you guys might have. All right, let's get back to it. So we want to work on this page. Let's see if I can make that a little bit bigger. There we go. So I'm going to come over here. With Cascade, you have two options. You have a chat and you have a write. A write allows, when you tell it something, it's going to go and it's actually going to start working on your code. If you want to just ask it questions and kind of brainstorm with it before you start implementing the code, you can go to chat. Right over here is you can select your model. I'm a premium user, so I get all the different models that they've got. I use the 3.5 or 3.7 Sonnet Thinking. You can see it's a little bit more expensive than everything else, but it works great. For simple tasks, I'll use Sonnet or I'll use straight inline. And what I mean by that is like right here, right? So if I highlight that section, press Control or Command I on the keyboard, it opens up this little panel, and I can select my different languages, or my different models, I'm sorry. And I can say, let's see, make this a, I don't know, welcome message for or make this welcome message in a fun tone. I don't know. Not really doing much, but so what it's gonna do is it made the edit so we can see this is what the red line was what it originally was, and the green line is what it changed it to. So we can see that it actually updated that. So I can hit accept, and then I'm gonna save, Control S or Command S. So now if we switch over, we can see it now updated, right? Hey Clayton, ready to check out the treasure chest? Yeah, blah, blah, cool, sweet. But let's actually start building really what it is. And I don't remember if I copied this. So we're gonna copy that. We're gonna switch to right. I'm gonna paste this in there. I'm gonna just basically tell it, right? We are working on page, and I'm gonna the @ symbol, and then I'm gonna put wallet slash page. And so you can see here, here's the route, right? So if we look over here, app protected wallet page, app protected wallet page, right? So now I'm giving the AI context. I'm saying, hey, we're working on this page for the trainer, okay? We are working on the trainer wallet page. I have attached my Figma mockup for the page. Please make the page look exact like the attached image. I want the page to be I want the page, so let's see. So what do we want, right? Let's bring the Figma back up. So we have a title. Like I can give it that and just say go for it, and it's gonna do it, but I like to give it some more instructions so I make sure that it's consistent the way that I do things. So we have a available balance, financial setup, and a tax compliance. So what I'm gonna say is I want to use components for the wallet balance card, financial setup card, and tax compliance card. These components should be on a main card below the main card. We need to create a table card for transaction history. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and hit enter, and so we can see that what I like to do, and I know a lot of people, like when you're talking about vibe coding, it's all about like just let the AI just run and go. But what I like to do is it's essentially like an employee, right? Kind of think of it like an employee, and this is the programmer that you hired, and you are the product manager, right? Because you're managing the building of this product, and and you need to direct the employee on how to actually build this. So I like to go through and actually read what it's thinking, and it's getting the thinking process because we're using the Claude Sonnet thinking. Um, so we're using the reasoning model. So it's basically it kind of thinks about what you asked for, and it's gonna say I'm gonna help you implement it. And so what I like about Windsurf, um, it was doing this before Cursor was, which Cursor is another version of this. Um, but it actually goes in and analyzes all the files and things that are related. And that's why I gave it the context in the beginning, right? This page's context, so it knows that hey, we're working on this page; it already exists. And so what it's going to do is it's going to go through, it's going to look at the image, it's going to read what page we currently have, and it's going to start building all this stuff. So you can kind of read through and see what it's doing. You know, it's searching the file system. Um, so we need a main card with 3 subcomponents, and below is a transactional table card. Um, so it saw that we have a card component already, and we're using ShadCN UI for that. So it's going to be like, okay, so I can use that. It says the main card, blah, blah, blah. So you can see that it took all the information from that image. Again, it's saying we can use the card for that one as well. Wallet matches exactly. And so now it's saying, now I'll create the wallet based on the mockups. So then it's analyzing the buttons because this is a button component. So we come over here to components, and we come over here to UI. You can see all the different components I've downloaded from ShadCN to the UI library. And then over here, it's actually started building these components already. So you can see that it's green. These are the new components. It's also up here at the top. We can see all the different files that are currently open that it's working on. So if we scroll down, we'll actually get to a point. Normally I would actually read all this, but I don't want to bore you guys with that. So you can see it created a wallet balance card component here. So you can click on it, and it's going to open it up over here. So let's close this. Let's kind of minimize this a little bit. So we can see it created this component, okay? Under components, wallet balance card, and it created the wallet balance, okay? And it also created the financial setup card, it created the tax compliance card, and it created the transactional history card. So you can see here, and you could read what it does and what it was thinking when it was building these things. So if anything doesn't align, you can go through and change it. So you can see here, now if we go back to our main page, it's imported all of those components for us, right? These are all the different elements. A component is like an element on the screen. And then it gave us some mock data, right? Because we didn't tell it about like, oh, we need this to be linked up to our database. It's just me like assuming, hey, let's throw some mock data and go from there. So it actually went a step beyond what I asked it to do, which is why I kind of like it. It created a skeleton, a loading skeleton. So when the page loads, you'll see these loading skeletons, a nice clean animation, until all the elements actually populate on the screen. It's actually checking to see if the person is signed in or not. And then it removed all that placeholder stuff and created the imports for all those elements and the page structure. So now, if we come over here, we can see our new page is completely different, right? Now, what we can do is we could look at our mockup. We have our wallet component there. You can see our wallet component here. Now, there's a few things like it's not using a comma. I want to use that icon, so what I'm going to do is actually download that icon from Figma, upload it into my code base, and then say, hey, change the down arrow to use this icon. And then we have this add bank account, right? Add bank account button with the warning there. And then the tax compliant, you can see it didn't get the color correctly. But that's something that we can change quickly, but it got the text down there. And then you can see that the transactional history card, that's this one, right? So let me close that. Now, there's a problem because if you look at the page, it's like wall to wall, right? And we don't want that. Um, we want it to be in line with this, right? It shouldn't be any wider than that. So I can go ahead, I'm just going to go ahead and accept all that stuff. And let's check out that loading. So there's the skeleton loading, right? And then once it loads all the data, everything pops it. So it's nice and clean. But we need to work on the spacing. So what I'm going to do here is sorry. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is, here's our page layout, right, in this return statement. I can go back and forth and say, hey, I want the spacing to be a little bit different, but what I can do is, I know the other pages have the correct spacing, right? So I'm going to come over here to, not layout, let's do notifications. It's a simpler page. We can see at this top div, right, we have container, and this is left and right padding auto with a padding top and bottom to 8. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this, copy it, come over here, I'm going to go here, I'm going to paste it there. Actually, easy. Let's just leave the spacing so it spaces out correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and save that now. And it should, there we go. Now it's lined up perfectly. So we can see, let's see, it's freaking out. Alright, so we need to fix the skeleton as well, because you saw when it loaded the skeleton was kind of messed up. So again, same thing, just come over here, paste that, save. Alright, and now if we refresh, now our skeleton is nice and aligned. And if we switch to like my training, you can see the spacing should all pretty much be the same. Perfect. There we go. So now what we can do is start getting more detail on like the table, like if we don't like how it looks. It should be fine. But let's change this here. So I need to go into Figma, zoom in on this little icon. I'm just clicking the button. There we go. I'm going to take this. Let's take this one. Alright, I'm going to take that, export as an SVG, and export it. And then I'm going to call this one, what does this do? I think it's, wallet icon. We'll just call it wallet icon. That was withdraw. Oh well. So let's open this up. So what I'm going to do is come down here, and I have a publics folder, and this is where I keep all of my icons and stuff. So I'll go into icons. You can see I got a ton of icons in here, all custom icons that I've been importing from my Figma design. And you can, if you're a good designer, you can do this yourself, or you can just hire somebody to make you a design real quick. Depending on how complex your application is, it could cost a couple hundred to a couple $1,000 for a good design. But Fiverr should have some good people, or if you need somebody, I can recommend someone that's really good. So let's see. We wanted, what did I call it? Wallet icon. Wallet icon, and that was in pictures. Not trainer. Icons. Wallet icon. Now I'm just dragging and dropping it in here. So now we got our wallet icon. And so what we can do is, we know it's on the wallet card. If you hold control or command on the keyboard, then you could just click on this component and it takes you to that component. Okay, so you can see it navigated as here. And so what we're looking for is that little arrow, right? And so if we're looking, here's the button, okay. Um, Wallet, available wallet, see balance. Here's that, this is the arrow, most likely, the SVG, okay. So what I can do is I can say, I want you to change the down arrow in the wallet balance. Let's just go wallet balance card with this icon, and then we're going to go wallet icon SVG. Okay, so I'm going to switch it from thinking to this one because it's not complex, and we're going to go let it rip, and it's going to update this for us. Little error, but it doesn't cost me any credits. So I'll replace the down arrow SVG wallet icon with the specified file. So it'll come over here and I'll just you'll see it. So it imported image, right? And then it's using the image package and using the source as this icon. And it erased that and that. So now if we open this up, we now have our little button, our little icon. Cool, cool. So next I want to format this, right, to use commas. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to open this back up. Great. Great job, always be nice. Now let's make sure the wallet balance is formatted in USD. So, what are we looking at? Wallet, available, show balance, right? What that's doing. Oh, you can hide your balance so you can show it. That's cool. I didn't ask it to do that, but you can see now it formatted that for us. And so it made this little format currency. Constant, and then let's see. So there we go. So we're using that format currency balance. Awesome, awesome. Now let us move on. Figma, how much like that? So this is kind of like ghosted a little bit, right? You can see the kind of blends in a little bit. So I want to do that with this, and I'm not going to use AI, I'm going to use my own brain power. Okay, so here we go. Here's the title, right? And it's using a white. So if we just do white slash 40, come back over here. Did that work? Boom, there it goes. So what I did is I just set the opacity of this color to 40. 40 looks a little too dark for me. I'm gonna try 50. Might be 60 might be the answer. It's called wallet, but this is our wallet, so let's call this, yeah, we'll just leave it wallet. Screw it. Available balance. Okay. So now let's look back at our Figma file. So that looks pretty decent there, right? So let's move on to this one. So we've got this, like that hexagon, get that, got the admin count, okay. financial setup. So that one for some reason I have it centered. So let's see if we can center this financial setup. So we need to go to this financial setup card here. I'm going to close this so we can see a little bit more. Let's see here. Title right here. Now, if you don't know how to center it, what you can do is this. Highlight, remember, and we're going to Control I, and we're going to say, I want the title to be centered. Just enter it, and it's going to do that. It's just text center is all it is. Go ahead and accept that. And save. So you got to save those changes. And then this should center the text there. There we go. Also, we can see that it's like a muted gray color. So I need to change that as well. So we can see text base. So what I'm going to do is just do text muted. Okay, let's do muted foreground. That's what it was suggesting anyways. Yes, a little better. I don't know if I like that. Let's see what it is. So I can do is click here. This is a gray 500. So what I can do is come here and I can just type in gray 500. There we go. And what do you think about the spacing? We could probably space this down a little bit, huh? So if we come here, we have our content. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add padding to the bottom. Actually, let's do padding bottom 4. Oh, I'm sorry, padding top. Padding top 4. There we go. Okay, so it's a little bit better. So I'll add some more padding on this one as well, so it'll line up with that. And we'll center that, so we'll kind of do the same thing. The button also was a primary, so if we come over here to button, we have variant is outline. I'm just going to change this one to primary. Actually, you know what? I can just remove the variant altogether, and that should update that. Perfect. So let's do the same with this. Oh, let's see, we got an issue. No, just TypeScript taking forever to compile. There we go. So we finished that one. Tax compliant card is the next one we want to work on. Right? So remember what we did here, which was gray 500, and then we also did items center. Right? So what that should do, center that and change the color. It did not change the color. Or did we do it on the... Did we put it up here? I don't remember. Save. There we go. Okay, that was up here. And then we need to come over here and add that padding to the bottom of 4. I should drop it down. Come on, you can do it. Oh, I did it again. Padding top. There we go. And so this one was blue. Remember the color? So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna do something a little bit crazy here. I'm gonna jump into this, right? and we have these different variants. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new one, and I'm going to call this one info, and it's going to be let's see what that looks like, and I'll change that to info. I don't know if I have an info color. I'm just assuming that I had an info color. Man, this is slow when I stream. Let's see. All right, so what we can do is we can change this to blue, or we can create an info color. I'm just gonna do a blue for now. So what I'm debating on is coming over here to my global CSS, and what I can do is, so we have all these are our preset colors, right? So what I can do is actually create an info color, right? And then, oh shoot, maybe we just do that then. Okay. I might have to recompile. Background, info. We have info. Okay. So if this didn't load, then what I need to do is come here and Control C to terminate, and npm run dev to reactivate. Come back over here and refresh rate. It's gonna take a minute. It's got to recompile all that. Okay, so it's still not. So let's just do. We're gonna do Indigo 500. Yeah. So you got that. It's got no hover effect though. So we need to add a hover effect. Hover. Oh, hang on. There we go. Save. There you go. Cool. So we've got all that progress. Next, what I want to do is, these are all the different changes we've made. So you can kind of click on it and you can see the different changes. So since we're at a stable point, what I'm going to do is save it. I'm going to say work in progress, wallet page, and commit that and save that. So that's just basically like a checkpoint. So we can always roll back so you can see all the different changes we made, all the commits. Let's close that. Let's close that.
Let's close that. Okay. So now we have all of that. Table looks fine. Um, do we have any controls? We did not. Okay. So we'll leave that for now. Uh, so tax compliant, we need to upload the W-9 form. So what we can do is come here. I'm going to close all the saved files. And let's close this. And that. Open that one. And we're going to work on that one. We're also going to need. So we're going to do some backend stuff here. Schema. Okay. Training packages. So these are all the different tables that I have. I need a trainer profile. Here we go. Okay. So switch this back to thinking. Let's say perfect. Thank you. Next, we need to have the ability for trainer to upload their W-9 tax form. We should save this document to the convex file storage and also make a link in the trainer profile to, I'm just going to say schema, and then I'm going to say tax compliance card. Okay. Be sure to use convex practices. Convex practices. There we go. So I have this folder that Convex provides for AI, and it has all the best practices. So what I'm going to do is submit that. So it needs to create a record in here where we can reference that document. And then on the front end, it should allow us to upload the document as well. So you can see, let's review, we need to do this, we need to do that, we need to do this, we need to do that. I'm going to explain, analyze. Now starting to edit the schema. We're already in the schema. So once the edit takes place, we'll be able to see it populate here. right. So you can see W9 form storing the storage ID, file name, the upload date, and the status. Okay. And now it's updating the tax compliance card. Oh, looks like the wallets. So it did something with the wallet. It's importing that incorrectly. Go back over here. Go ahead and close that so we can see. That's using a used toast, which we don't have used toast for using Sonner as the toast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it in the tax compliance card you used use toast, but we are set up to use Sonner for toasts. Please fix. Right. And so what that is, so we come over here, and this was all part of the setup process. I have other videos on this setup, but if you come over, I think I have another provider, yeah, Toast Provider here. You come down here to Toast Provider. We're using Sonner. What did I call it? Did I call it Sonner? Yeah, Sonner, whatever. So we're using that for our toast notifications that pop up. So that's why when it imported that, we didn't have all that stuff set up. Now we have one more error, upload date. So then for this, you just hover over it and it's going to tell you what the issue is, right? And then if you know how to fix it, you can fix it, or you can just hit this button there. And I don't accept the changes until I kind of cleared all the errors, so it kind of knows what it did. I don't know if that's of value to it or not, but that's just what I do. You can see the wallet's fixed now. Fix that part. All right, so it looks like it fixed it. We have no errors anymore. So now we should test it. So we've implemented a way for a user to upload a file, right? So we built this little upload box as well, only PDF files up to 5. So let's select a PDF file. I'm just gonna select something random that I've got. Some generic Sammy samples. So here's our toast. It's saying that your W9 has been uploaded successfully and is under review. So we can see now that we have this and it's in a pending status. And then so it did all this for us. We didn't even tell it to do that. Look, and that's what I wanted. I wanted a review process for this. So you can see here. So it's kind of clumpy. So I'm going to take this screenshot. I'm going to take this. We're going to come over here. And we'll say grade tax file upload process. File is uploaded and ending. The UI blam, blam, full, blam, and full blam, basic. And you add some better UI separation. So basically, I want it to be a little cleaner because it kind of looks all clumped. So like if this was in like its own little box, maybe I'm not sure what it's gonna do. We just kind of gave it free range. Letting that do its thing. So it's tax compliance card. Tax compliance card. So it added more spacing. Let's see what else it did. It's like it made the width bigger. This is another thing, like kind of just going through and seeing what it did, so you can kind of like I can tell what it did. But if you haven't been doing this, you can see like it's a lot cleaner now. Like that they put that there, and so you can see this part right here was what we were just looking at here. So approved status, pending status, right? Go ahead and keep that. Looks great. All right. Bank account information, that's going to be a Stripe integration. I'm not going to do that now. Same with withdrawal, that will also be related to Stripe. What we can do is say disable this withdrawal button and if there is no bank account set up. So let's do that. That's exactly what I wanted. Cool. That's exactly what I wanted. Now let's make the button on the what was it called? A wallet balance card. Oops. Wallet balance card. Disabled if no bank account information is set up in the at financial setup. We'll let that rip. Cool. Cool. So now what we're doing is it's reviewing everything. It's going to modify it. It's going to disable the withdrawal button if no bank account is set up. Okay, so it's doing what we want. Let that run. Let's update that. You can see now it's withdrawn. Add bank account to withdraw funds. I love that it added that tooltip. That button does nothing. There we go. Not too bad. We've got this whole page laid out in less than an hour with some functionality. Also, if we went to convex, let me take this off screen real quick, just in case. I'm going to show you the backend so you can see where this file was uploaded. I'm going to go here and here. There we go. So this is my backend dashboard. We can go to the data tables and we can come to files. So you can see this was the file that we uploaded here today. You can't hover because it's not an image. This one's an image. But if we go to trainer profile, here's our trainer profile, and we're looking for W9 right there. So we can see the file name, status is pending, the storage ID, and when we uploaded it. So now we have all that information saved. That's linking to our file that's right here. So that was the file ID, storage ID. Perfect. So let's see what this guy's doing here. All right. Cool. So let's go ahead and keep that. And then, so what did we do? We did WIP, work in progress. Upload W9. And disable withdraw with no bank account. Save that. Save that. Cool. All right. I think that's going to be it for today. We essentially built out this whole page here with each one of these components. You know what? One thing I noticed that it's not on in our design, we had it on cards. So let's see if we can fix that real quick. We can close this component, this one, let's close this one, and this one. This is the page that we wanted. Okay. Wallet. Okay, so this one is a grid. I'm gonna say we want it to be in a, oops. So I'm gonna wrap it in a card component. And so we can take this and move it into here. So you can see it's in that. There's a card in there. We just need to add some padding now. So what we do here is card content. Sorry, card content. Card content. Save. Oh, we need to import. Make sure we imported the right one. I didn't check. Yeah. There we go. So we can see that. Now what we need to do is kind of make it more like this, right? Where it's kind of like no border. We need padding at the top as well. So what we could do is get out of here. I want to say padding top 6. There we go. So it's in the card. And what I can do, I can continue to play with that until it looks, we can tell that the background is not the same color gray. So that's the difference there. Yeah, let's see what that does. It removes it. Let's upload it again. Perfect. So that's on a card, that's on a card. All right. So that is going to be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll do more of these. If there's anything you want to see, please let me know. See you.